And let's do it. Ole do it.
What is that, a rap?
Yeah, it's from something. I don't remember though.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Do you have a generator?
No, do you?
No.
What?
I've been thinking about generators lately because of all of the hurricanes and things.
Oh, Larry, I'm very surprised you don't have one.
I know. Don't tell my folks. I'll be don't tell all the people back home. I'll be like, like, oh my god.
Oh, like, oh no, Larry.
All right, hi and welcome.
You're welcome.
Welcome to Seattle's #1 comic book podcast. That's welcome. The podcast that's dedicated to the first issue of your next favorite comic. I'm Larry.
I'm James. With a warm welcome.
Yes, and yes you are. And this is episode 79 of the big podcast. We are getting old, James.
That's my least favorite for 79.
You're not a fan of 79?
I just made that up.
I don't think. I'm kind of not partial to it myself.
Yeah, it's not a great number.
But
I don't think about it very much.
We're gonna
doesn't come up a lot.
79, 79, 80. Now there's a number.
76 trombones. Yeah, yep.
All right, so this does happen to be episode 79, and maybe we'll make it special. Everybody be talking about our 79th episode like it was. Oh, I was there for it.
This will make 79 history.
I was there for it, and hopefully you are here for it. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Echoes number one of 5. This is a mini series written by Joshua Hale Fialkov, and with art by Rahsan. Do you know how to say his last name or his first name?
Ekedel? I want to say it's like Ezekiel, but
that's what I kept saying. It's Ekedel.
Ekedel. Oh, there you go.
Published by Top Cow in 2010. Absolutely free.
We don't see much from.
Yeah, they kind of do big specialty books usually. Top Cow does.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
Like graphic novels. You'll find them.
Can you think of an example?
I can't. I really can't think of a good Top Cow book. I should have. I always think these things through because it is an odd duck. An odd duck. Yeah. This Top Cow is an odd duck. But yeah, when they do come up,
I got a question for you. If
yes.
you have 10 legs and 5 heads, and you only have I'm just kidding. You don't.
We're gonna create an animal.
How many cows and how many chickens do you have?
We are we're talking about Echoes. This is 26 pages, absolutely free on Comixology.
Unless you're Larry, he only got 24 pages.
Oh yeah, I have 2 pages that won't load for some reason. My computer.
Yeah. What a travesty.
You know what I call my computer?
Larry.0.
The rocket launcher.
Rocket launcher?
I don't know.
Rocket man.
Yeah. So if you were to, I don't know, if you were to hack my computer.
That's the password?
That's the password. All right. I just told the internet what my password was. It's not rocket launcher. All right. But before we dive into Echoes, which is a horror book, and we are going to issue a spoiler alert because there's some spoilage here to happen. And hopefully you read along because it was free on Comixology. But before we dive into that, we're going to talk about something.
Read it. Or don't do that. Sorry.
Say that again.
What were you talking about there?
Oh, I was going to.
We're going to do some recent and decent.
Something I read just recently, and I think it's pretty decent. And I'm going to put some scary music to it because it's dark.
Ooh.
It is a dark comic. Came out last week. This is recent and decent. It's Dark Nights Metal, and night is spelled Nights. Nights. Written by Scott Snyder with art by Greg Capullo. It's published by DC Comics, and this is issue number 3 of Dark Nights Metal. And what is going on? And I mentioned this once before in a recent Decent when it first came out. Maybe it was the Zero issue. This is Batman getting pushed into a dark multiverse, coming back and fighting with all of the Justice League.
Oh, Batman vs. Justice League?
In a very, very topsy-turvy world where all of...
Does he have, like, way extra powers?
He has crazy extra powers. He has crazy extra powers. He has... It is so good. It is
like, can you give me an example of some of his extra powers?
Well,
something metal related?
Yeah, well, that's just it. So there's one metal in particular. It's called the Nth metal, N-T-H metal.
Okay.
And Batman got a line on this and dove into this dark multiverse in order to get and hopefully stop this big bad guy named I think his name is Barbatos. Barbatos is the bad guy in this one, and he is pushing out into all of these other multiverses where the Justice League are having to fight with these guys, these bad Batmen.
Wait, do the Justice League have any of this metal?
No, they are looking for this metal to this, if they put their hands on it first, they're going to be able to stop whatever Barbatos has in plan for it. But
makes sense.
There's the best part about this Recent and Decent is the Batmans. All of the evil Batmans are so evil. There's one that has this choker.
Like evil looking or like
they're evil looking. Like Greg Capullo has created some monstrous looking Batmans. And one of the Batmans actually has 3 Robins on, it's kind of like an S&M sort of Batman looking guy. And he has 3 Robins that look like Jokers. The faces are kind of drawn like Joker. You get a real Joker vibe from it when they come out of this porthole and they start chomping on. Well, it's too much to describe, but they start chomping on another set of bad guys who are there to welcome them, and they're these Robins are eating their insides and stuff. They're vicious monsters.
Oh, okay. So it really goes in on dark.
It is very dark. Recent and Decent, Dark Knights Metal, 2017, issue 3 out now.
All right. So, should we get to Echoes?
Yeah, so I'm just going to keep the dark music playing.
All right. I can't hear the music, so whatever you say. I'll hear it one day.
James, what did you... we already gave the setup. Or, no, we didn't give the setup. Talked a little bit about last week, but
Echoes. I wish the title was more connected to the insides, because I think Echoes is a great name for a certain kind of story, maybe. But there was no echoes in this story,
right?
Really.
Yeah, I kept trying to draw that line together as well. I was trying to connect them together, and you're right, it doesn't work. Or if we go on
maybe
a reach,
in a later issue or something,
or if we reach out a little bit and say maybe he's an echo of his father.
Okay, yeah, but it's if your title is Echoes, you should have more than one layer of echo meaning.
Yeah,
it's a strong word.
Yeah, give us the setup, James, because I really I get scared sometimes when I'm reading my comics, and this one scared me.
Okay, so I'm gonna start. So to start off, it's in black and white.
Right? Yeah, it's good looking black and white. I think.
There's a lot of it's not heavy shading, but it's almost like light shading. There's a lot of shading, but the shading is very light.
Very tonal. Yeah, exactly. It's not dark. It's you get.
But there is a lot of shading, just for texture and stuff.
Exactly.
It was kind of a cool style. I haven't seen quite that style in black and white. Our main character, he's just kind of, we have like a main character guy, and his father's on his deathbed. And it's going to be kind of tough to like kind of go through the plot here, because the way that the panels go, it does a lot of flashback, flash forward type stuff. So it almost spoils itself in some ways. Would you agree, Larry?
Right. Yeah, so we meet the main character. He's actually at two different hospitals. James is right. There's a flash forward, flashback. There's a double page that really didn't play well with my Kindle, because it was sort of like, kind of like they give you this guided view, but it did kind of like, I wished I could have read it. There's a lot of panels and a lot of backstory in this double page spread.
Yeah, this double page specifically was kind of hard to read, because it was tough to see like when you're supposed to read left to right and when you're supposed to read up and down, and there's this big panel overlay. But I mean, I was able to figure it out.
Yeah,
it was a little.
The broad strokes are, this man, the main character, looks to have been abused by his father,
mm-hmm.
but at the same time is caring for his father. Flashback, flash forward, flashback, flash forward. And then in the main panel, he is sitting with his father, who is
on his
deathbed, obviously in a hospital, lots of equipment, and
mm-hmm.
he's having a conversation with his father and letting him know that he had just been at another hospital where he had seen the ultrasound of his future kid. So his wife is having a baby, and he is losing his father.
One in, one out, right?
And all the while it shows this, the pictures really do a good job of like this alone kid.
Very descriptive art.
Very descriptive art. That's a great way to describe it. He's an alone kid. You see,
and it's not cartoonish at all.
Yeah, it's very realistic, and you see little bottles of pills, so you know that he is suffering from something. And he's taken the pills. He's smashed a mirror. He's crying. He's alone. He's taking care of his dad.
Yeah, and so we don't really know what the cause of his anguish is, which it was kind of I'm always on the lookout for hooks. And so, like, the obvious one to me is like, oh, his dad on his deathbed, like, nothing better than some last words to incite an adventure. But even just like, what is this guy's problem was a little bit of a hook for me, especially because of like character development so important in the first issue. Yeah,
so he's Joshua Hale Fialkov, the writer, is definitely building these characters. He does a lot, and I guess the art really kind of speaks for itself here too. Like we see these.
Yeah, there's not a lot of dialogue in quite a few of these panels.
Yeah, so this poor young man, he's suffered. He's on drugs that are trying to help him, and then on the next page, we get more. We get the big spoiler here. I think this is a huge spoiler.
Yep.
The father on his deathbed is telling him, the eyes are big. Look how they look a lot alike, right? You know, they're father and son.
There's their son resemblance, but his father is like sunken eyeballs and like definitely emaciated.
And they have the same nose. It's great art. And his father basically tells him that in very cryptic language. He gives him the address.
It's almost like, you know, when on the last breath he didn't get the second half of the words out, you know, or it's like he told him the combination to the safe and he only got the first two numbers out.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we have halfway this clue, but that's how hooks work.
Yeah, so he gives him quite the hook. He says 1339 Hazelbrook Road, whatever it was, and find the box in the crawl space. So many dead children or girls.
Yeah.